Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyihi wa mustafa Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. Dear viewers, welcome to a new edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with area code are 002 011 2500 8679. Alternatively, area code 002 0100 246 4583. And the Facebook page is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official. Barakallah fikum. I will tackle a couple of questions that I received on the page by the time you start ringing in, inshallah. The first question is from Brother Muhammad Arsalan from Pakistan. Muhammad says, in Pakistan, most of the imam appointed in the mosques, I prefer to use the word masjid though, are hafiz or have only completed tajweed course, but they don't understand Arabic. Is the prayer behind those imams valid? Yes, it is valid, as long as they recite properly and avoid or do not do the major errors, what we call it al-lahnul jali, which may change the meaning. And I did before explain that a single vowel could change the meaning. So if the person have memorized the Quran or a part of the Quran and he recites it properly, observing the ahkam of the tajweed, and the person is practicing the mainstream, then the prayer is valid for him and valid for those who pray behind him if he happens to be an appointed imam. Understanding Arabic is not a condition. This is something that I would like to emphasize. Islam is a universal religion. The percentage of those who speak Arabic is less than 18%. And when I say Arabic percentage or population amongst Muslims is 18% or less, many of them do not even know Arabic as well. And as you know that the vast majority of the Arab do not speak the real classic Arabic or the Quranic Arabic. Rather, you speak the slang. So that if you go to Tunisia, if you're from the Gulf or if you're from Egypt, you won't understand a word of what they say. Similarly in Morocco. I mean, it does not necessarily mean because you're born in a Muslim country and you speak the slang that you understand Arabic or you can understand the Quran perfect. So the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge can be achieved by seeking knowledge, by making an effort. You can learn Arabic, and you can learn only the Arabic which will enable you to understand the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the classic Arabic. Okay. But the prayer for those who do not know Arabic is valid. And if he happens to be an imam, he recites properly, observes all the fara'id, the wajibat, the pillars, and he offers the prayer properly, it's valid for him and valid for others if he happen to be their imam. Muhammad Arsalan's second question is a prayer behind an imam who practices innovations valid? That's a very broad question. Because the word innovation is very broad. What kind of innovation? There are a lot of varieties of innovations. There is an innovation in Tawheed, in Aqidah, and such innovation could take the person out of the fold of Islam. I would say, no, you can't pray behind him because he is not a Muslim himself. It is not for you as an individual or for laymen to judge person or person's faith and say, well, this person is making an innovation in Aqidah, then he's not a Muslim, then his prayer is invalid. This is unfortunately one of the means where people misuse in order to judge each other. If somebody has a conflict with another, he would propagate or spread the rumor or the news that this person is mubtada' or his aqidah is corrupt and he is not on the manhaj. you have to be very careful, because the Prophet ﷺ informed us, whenever a Muslim says to another, you are a non-Muslim, ya kafir, then one of them is a kafir. So if the person who's been labeled with kufr is not a kafir, is not practicing kufr, guess what? Then the person who falsely accused them becomes entitled for that label, for that title, for that word, being a non-Muslim. You have to be very careful. There are innovations categorized, recognized as innovations, but you still are allowed to pray behind that imam, especially if he is the only imam in town, or if it is the only masjid in town. So being united, going to the masjid and observing the prayer in jama'ah is superior to your individual benefit of boycotting the community. You lose. You lose. The Prophet ﷺ ordered, صَلُّوا وَرَاءَ كُلِّ بَرٍّ وَفَاجِرٍ. Even if the person is a sinner, because human beings are sinners by nature. But as long as the sin is not something that he is misleading the community with regards to faith, belief, or the concept of tawheed or aqidah. And I would like to give you an example just to make it easy for you and distinguish between some of the different innovations. An innovation of a person who makes the sealing of the prayer out loud and he recites Khitamus Salah with the people in congregation. It's an innovation, but still pray behind him and do not boycott the masjid and the community. But one of those imams who is mastering the art of making talisman, amulets and ta'weed, don't pray behind him. Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Man allaqa faqad ashrak. That's pertaining an act of shirk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Anis from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Doctor. How are you?
How are you, Brother Anis?
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. Doctor, I have one question.
Naam.
I have a friend who says that, to perform Umrah or Hajj on behalf of a deceased Muslim has not any reference from the traditions of Rasulullah or the Sahaba. So therefore he doesn't believe that, to perform Hajj or Umrah on behalf of a deceased person, has any authenticity.
No, but there are sound references in this regard, relating to the Prophet ﷺ himself approving people performing Hajj or Umrah in instead of others, either because of their sickness, chronic ailment, or because of their death. And I will be happy, inshallah, to quote some hadith, inshallah. Do you have any other questions?
My other question is, coming back to first question, so can I cite some references from Bukhari or some,
Yeah, I will be happy, inshallah. I'll be happy to give you a reference, inshallah.
Thank you. And my second question is, do the souls of the believers have any relation with the existing world? I mean, do they feel that what's going on with their kith and kin? Do they have any relation, Dr.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my second question.
The souls of the dead people
feel, for example, what is happening to the parents or to their brothers, and
Okay.
Does it have any reference?
Bye. Any other questions?
That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Anis. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Hashim from Bahrain. Assalamu alaikum, Hashim.
Alaikum assalam. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Sheikh, I have two questions.
No.
The first question is regarding a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, in which Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sanctuary of Medina, just like how Ibrahim alayhi salam, he prayed for the sanctuary of Mecca.
What about it?
So he used the word muddiha wa sa'iha. I want to know the meaning of these words.
Okay.
And the second question is regarding the medical insurance. If a person has a medical insurance, is it allowed or not? Because over here, most of the people, they get it because the government hospitals are not well qualified, and So we have to use the private hospitals, and they are more expensive. So they go for the medical insurance.
Inna
So that they
lillahi
save
wa
the
inna
lot of
ilayhi
money.
raji'un. Naam. Okay.
So
Any
these
other
are the
questions?
two questions.
Thank you, Brother Hashim. Barakallah feek. When somebody came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, my father is due to perform Hajj, أدركته فريضة الحج, but yet he cannot stand on the back of the ride. He's alive, but he's sick. He cannot sit on the back of a ride. And as you know, that they used to perform Hajj on the back of the camels, the horses. Can I perform Hajj in his state? The Prophet ﷺ approved that. This is with regards to the person who's sick. The other hadith concerning performing Hajj on behalf of somebody, and that applies to Umrah too, who's dead. When the Prophet ﷺ heard somebody performing tawaf and said, لَبَّيْكَ عَنْ شُبْرُمَةٍ, O Allah, here I come to perform Hajj on behalf of such and such by the name Shubrumah. The Prophet ﷺ said, have you performed Hajj for your own self first? He said, no. He said, then go perform Hajj for yourself first, then you can make it on behalf of whomever you like. So that is the condition, which applies in case that somebody were to perform Hajj on behalf of a dead person, a deceased, or on behalf of somebody who was not able to perform Hajj, but they have the financial means. Because if they don't have the financial means, they are exempt. If they don't have the financial means, even if they are physically fit, they don't have to perform Hajj. That's why Allah the Almighty said, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It is a duty that mankind owe to Allah to perform Hajj to His house, to the ancient house, for those who can afford the means. So those who are physically incapable to travel for a reason or another, medical reasons, or fear, but they have the means, they're required to sponsor somebody to perform Hajj in their state from their own money. It is not optional. It is not optional because it's a requirement, it's faridah. But if the person is dead, they don't own Hajj, but if somebody like a family member, now mashallah they possess the means and they want to benefit a father, a mother, somebody who died, or a friend, he can definitely do that. You don't have to be related to him. And can you hire somebody to perform Hajj instead of somebody else and you pay him? Yes, you may do that. And the reward will go to the person whom Hajj is performed in his state and the person who supported the process financially, inshallah will get a similar reward. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hussein from Bahrain.
Naam. Yes, Sheikh, I have a question.
Please go ahead, Brother Hussein.
My question is, I'd like to know the ruling of a Muslim who was converted to Christianity. Such a Muslim, what should happen to him? Because we had a kind of argument with a colleague at work. Unfortunately, he's not a Muslim, but he was asking us that what is it right to kill a person? Then I said no, with this kind of question, because there's something happening to Sudan now, that a lady who converted to Christianity, so there is a ruling that they want to kill her. So I said that I'm not very sure about that, but I can ask, then I'll give a stand as far as Muslims are concerned over a ruling for a Muslim who was converted to Christianity.
Okay.
This is one. then two, what about a ruling of what about I should first get this one feedback first, then I'll ask another question, inshallah.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sheikh.
You're welcome, Hussein. Barakallah feek. Brother Muhammad from Egypt. Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Naam, Sheikh. I wanted to ask you a question about when traveling, what's the maximum period of time that I'm allowed to join my salah? Because some sheikhs say it's open as long as you don't have the intention of staying in the place that you're traveling. Also, I want to know what's the final bottom line when on the distance? Is it to do with the city? Is it to do with the mileage? You know, Jazakallah khair, because this thing has been like an issue for me. I travel a lot.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Muhammad, and take care of your travel precautions as far as the DVT, and do the exercise if you're flying a lot, if you're a frequent flyer. This is a very valuable advice. Take care. Inshallah, we'll answer your question concerning shortening the prayer and combining them as far as the time and the play and the distance. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Saif from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Saif.
I have two questions, Sheikh. The first is, in the Gardens of Paradise, we heard that the barakah is in the center of the food.
Mm-hmm.
So is it that when a family sits together for food, we are supposed to eat in one plate? Or is it correct? Is it the correct way everybody eats in different plates? I wanted to do that. And the second is keeping the jewelry, gold belongings in bank lockers, and you pay them yearly for that security. Is it wrong to do so?
Okay, the second question, I want to make sure that I got it right. Keeping something in the bank safe deposit box, am I right?
Yeah, keeping your jewelry, your ornaments and everything
Mm-hmm.
in the bank.
Okay.
In the bank and lockers
Okay.
for safety.
And paying an annual fee for that.
Yeah, for that lockers you're paying them.
Permissible. You're hiring a safe deposit box. You're hiring a locker. That's perfectly fine. You keep your ornaments, you keep cash, you keep your Rolex watch, you keep your documents. That's perfectly fine. They don't really care about what you're keeping there. What matters is that you hired a place and a service, which is the safety and security. So that is permissible. Thank you, Sister Saif. Sister Amina from Kenya. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Amina.
Alhamdulillah, I'm also fine, alhamdulillah. Sheikh, I wanted to ask that, let me say I've been sick for the last 4 years. I was bedridden and I could not fast. I've just recovered, alhamdulillah, but I still don't have the energy, let me say, to start paying for my fast. And inshallah, another Ramadan is coming soon. So I want to ask, am I allowed to pay for the last 4 years, the fast that I left? Because I still doesn't have the energy to start paying the fast. Am I allowed to pay in other ways?
As you say,
thank you very much for the work you are doing, inshallah.
Thank you, Sister Amina. Barakallah fiki. Wallahi, this is one of the calls I really feel sincerity from your voice. I do feel it in many calls, but this is a very special one. And Sister Amina, quickly, if it is as you said that you can fast, you don't have the energy, you're exempt. You can pay the fidya in a state. Only when you feel that yourself, alhamdulillah, recovered entirely, and because you said your medical condition is something that is lasting for years. But if you, at any time during Ramadan, you say that alhamdulillah you can fast. But don't hurt yourself. You can enjoy the concession of وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ فِدْيَةٌ طَعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. If you can fast, but it will be with a great difficulty and hardship because of your medical condition, you don't have to. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants to give you ease. Allah wants to make your life easy and affordable. He doesn't want to hurt you or make your life hard. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Zainab from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Zainab, welcome to Ask Huda.
Thank you very much. I would like to ask two questions.
Please.
My first question is that when a person dies, some people make some sadaqat for that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like here in Nigeria, in some part of Nigeria, it's a culture to pray for that person for 3 days, 7 days, and even 40 days. And we have elders that when we told them that this sadaqah is not there in the hadith or the Quran. So I want to find out that is it true that we have 3 days prayer if a person dies?
Okay.
And my second question, yes?
Please.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
And my second question is, pardon? Hello, and my second question is, when a person lost her husband and she doesn't have any domestic helper, can she maybe bath her kids, all the domestic duty? Is it allowed in Islam?
Okay, Sister Zainab, I want to make sure that I want to make sure I got it right.
You have to avoid something with perfume. You have to avoid something with perfume.
Oh, okay. I think I got your question right.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ruqayya from Bahrain.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask with Sister Ruqayya.
Thank you, Sheikh. It's such a blessing to have you on the on this program, and we are blessed to hear from you, your guidance, and we always pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you and your team with the barakah and with more message for us, for people like us in the world.
Shukriya, Sister Ruqayya. May Allah bless you and accept your dua, and same to you. Thank you so much. Everybody here is very happy to hear that from you. Yeah, go ahead.
Sheikh, the first question I have is, I am a revert to Islam.
MashaAllah.
And my parents died as Christians. I have always had doubt whether I could pray for them. And my children are still not converts. I am praying for them to be converted. And can I ask them to pray for their grandparents? This is my question 1. And my question 2 is, when we come from the office, when we come back from the office, what happens is, Sheikh, we just are in the home clothes, and when the adhan comes, is it okay for us to repeat back after the adhan in whatever dress we are, or should we have a particular dress that we should be clothed in to answer back after the adhan and send salam to Rasulullah after the adhan?
Okay. Thank you, Sister Ruqayya. Any other questions?
Yes, Sheikh. If you permit, ask one more question.
No.
For wudu, for women, is there any kind of dress code that we have to be in to perform wudu?
Okay. Thank you, Sister Ruqayya from Bahrain. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. I have a few questions. Now, the first question is, now, if someone is, now during Ramadan, if someone is traveling overseas, and then the flight takes off about between 5 and 15 minutes to breakfast in that country. So is the person able to breakfast in the flight, or should he breakfast before he boards the flight?
Okay.
And also the other question is, now if he is leaving home at Zuhr time, so now should he pray 4 rakats of Zuhr and then the Asr shortened, or both prayers should be shortened? Now, it should be applied to any prayer to shorten. There's the first prayer, if he's praying at home, that should be shortened along with the travel prayer, or this should be normal, the Zuhur should be normal prayer, and the other ones to be shortened. Okay, and also, please explain in Surah Fajr, please explain the ayahs 27 to 30. Please explain that. It is a very consoling, the meaning is consoling, but I would like a bit more explanation from you, please. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Shukran, Sister Fatima. Thank you so much. Barakallahu fiki. And I believe, mashallah, we have many questions, so why don't we take a short break? And inshallah, soon after the break, inshallah Azza we'll tackle those pending questions, inshallah. Bear with us, give us a couple minutes, and we'll be back, inshallah, in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Imagine that the Anbiya, they were the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they had the hardest time.
He assumed that he had some kind of superiority and he was a better, more chosen, a better person because he had this wealth. And then you look at all the other people who had wealth, and some of them were the worst people. He had Fir'aun and
reviving your niyyah time and again, that you're doing insincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Most of the youth, they think, oh, I'm going to pray when I'm old, it's okay, now I'll have fun in my life. Later on I'll work, I'll go on my bed, I'll pray 5 times a day. And all these things, they think that's later on in their life, and they don't know when they will die.
Amira, who's your role model?
Khadija radiallahu anha.
And why?
Because she was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's wife, and she was the first lady to believe in Islam.
Let's start from where they started. Who are they? The companions of the Prophet ﷺ. When they started learning the religion of Islam, they started with the Aqidah, the belief system, faith. Brothers and sisters in Islam, dear viewers, the Prophet ﷺ spent 13 years in Mecca teaching that generation the belief system, the Aqidah. Aisha radiallahu anha confirms this by saying, the first things which were revealed from the Quran was matters of Aqidah. Who is Allah? Jannah, paradise and hell. Jundub ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, may Allah be pleased with him, said, we learned the belief system, we learned the Iman, we learned the Aqidah, then we learn the Quran. Brothers and sisters in Islam, nowadays, a lot of our cultural practices, a lot of our societal norms are against our belief system. And the reason why we're falling into this, because we did not start from where they started. Join me, Kareem Abu Zaid, twice a week on Huda TV screen with the new edition, Aqidah Matters. See you.
are with no boundary, hearts for kindness and mercy. You as the goodness pushes me to watch the eyes of sincerity, and I can see great energy, sharing the tears and ecstasy. Great like Kaaba, the lofty, surrounded by prayers and plea, stops the pulse in every alley if they hear the call to plead. Astonishment possessing me as steps to the mosque hurry. I feel the universe within agree, and prayers at the moment and jiffy. Even attention, patience pay when it calls come to plea. Query them does my heart, their lips with a smile reply. Read my ecstasy, my way in life is certainty. And the longing confused me, and the need for guidance and I asked the Sheikh and he gave me the key to paradise in vocabulary. Glorify one God, he told me, above all types of free.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Before I begin answering the pending questions from the previous segment, I would like to request the callers to put their calls on hold for a little bit until I answer those questions, inshallah. Brother Anis from the KSA, second question is concerning the dead people. Do they feel what happens at home with their family members, brothers and sisters, husband and wife, and so on? Right after death, this is known to us as an unseen. Not just to us as Muslims, but to everybody, right? And when it comes to the unseen, the only source of information is the wahy, the revelation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells His Prophet, either in the Quran or in the Sunnah. So we have been informed in the Sunnah that there will be life in the grave, which is known as Hayatul Barzakh. The person will be either enjoying in the grave or being punished, depending on their fate, which will be on the resurrection, and also depending on their good or bad deeds in the life of this world. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, whenever we visit the graveyard, to give salam, because He hears us and our dua would reach them. Assalamu alaikum ahla diyari min al-mu'minina wal-muslimin wa nahnu bikum insha'Allah lahiqun, and so on. He has also told us that after we bury the dead person, we should hang around for some time, 15-20 minutes, because they will be in the process of reckoning, hisab, as-su'al. They will be questioned, the 3 questions, as you know. So these informations are confirmed. But whether they know what is happening at home and they feel what their family members wants to deliver to them or not, we have no idea. We have no information whatsoever. That's why it is not in my capacity to say yes, nor to say no. So we pause. Also, they are extremely busy in their affairs, either being rewarded or being punished. But do they benefit from us if any of us would like to do a good deed and grant the reward to them? Well, if they were believers, yes. They will benefit from your dua, from your supplication and invocation. And I think that would also answer Sister Ruqayya from Bahrain's question concerning the parents who died as non-Muslims. So any believer, any person who died saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, when you make dua for them, they will definitely benefit from your dua. You give any charity and you grant them the thawab, they will benefit out of that. You give a continuous charity, you fast, you perform hajj or umrah to grant them the thawab, that would definitely benefit them, inshaAllah. But the Quran forbids us from praying for those who died in a state of disbelief or not believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He said it will not benefit them. Allah the Almighty said in Surah An-Nisa twice, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. Allah does not forgive setting partners to Him in worship, yet He forgives any other sin lesser than disbelief or associating partners to Allah in worship. Brother Hashim from Bahrain, the beautiful hadith that you refer to, and I personally feel this hadith every time I go to Al-Madinah, because the hadith says that the Prophet ﷺ prayed and asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make Al-Madinah as a sanctuary, similar to Mecca. Mecca was an ordinary place. When Ibrahim ﷺ built the Kaaba, he invoked Allah, asked him to make it a haram, sanctuary, a sacred and a holy place. And Allah accepted his dua, and He made it haram. Haraman aminan, a safe sanctuary. Then the Prophet ﷺ, upon migrating to Al-Madinah, all the companions, the immigrants, were suffering. The climate was terrible. Contagious diseases and a lot of fever. They were not used to it. They were complaining. So the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands and said, "O Allah, make Al-Madinah dear to our hearts and loved by our hearts as Mecca, or even more." And underline the word even more. That's why every time you go to perform Umrah or Hajj, you say, "Subhanallah, I felt much more comfortable in Medina." This is the blessing of the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Furthermore, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَبَارِكْ لَنَا فِي مُدِّهَا وَصَاعِهَا. And this is the core of the question. What is al-mud and what is as-sa'? Al-mud is when you fill your hand with grains, with food. And as-sa' is double that. So it's a measure. They used to have a measure which is called as-sa'. And alhamdulillah, one of the great scholars have given me the exact sa' of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, copied from the measure that the Prophet ﷺ used to use. And I'll be more than happy, inshallah, if I remember to bring it with me next episode, inshallah. It has the same exact measure of the sa' that the Prophet ﷺ used to measure the grains with his own sa'. And that is the mud and as-sa'. The meaning of barik lana fi muddiha wa sa'iha, يعني bless us in its food, in its grains, in its provision. And Al-Madinah is blessed ever since. And وَانْقِلْ حُمَّاهَا إِلَى الْجَحْفَةِ or الْجُحْفَةِ, which means, and remove its fever and its contagious diseases, take it out. And he was taken by the leave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to answer the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is also a sanctuary. Mecca and Al-Madinah are the only two haram. Some people like to add other places, but in fact, only Allah appoints a place or a time to be sacred or to be destined. So the only haram, as far as the place, Mecca and Al-Madinah. ما بين لابتيها. Brother Hashim, the medical insurance, the commercial medical insurance is not permissible. The what we said, the syndicate or the social insurance is permissible, but the commercial, which is provided by a commercial company dealing with riba and interest, it's simply prohibited because it contains two violations, usury and gambling. Brother Hussein from Bahrain, with regards to apostasy, in fact, not only Islam, but in Christianity and Judaism, and I will be happy inshallah to provide you with references, that they forbid conversion from their faith to another. In our modern time, some countries consider a person an enemy combatant. If the person declares or makes any statement against his own country, they simply strip him or her from their citizenship, even if they were born in this country. And nowadays, not only did they strip them from their citizenship, there is a drone attacks. They follow them with the drones, and they assassinate them even without trials, without questioning them. Islam does not approve that. Islam says, when it comes to apostasy, well, if somebody converted or did not believe in Allah and did not declare that, nobody knows about him. It is not our problem to investigate him. But when the person starts going out in the media and attacking the religion and trying to nail the aqidah and confuse people, then he has to be questioned. It has to be brought to court and brought to justice. And it is not you, nor me, nor any individual or group of people who have the right to try him or punish him. It is the state which applies the Sharia. And he is given the concession and he is given the benefit of doubt to be discussed with him, the matters of his disbelief. On what basis? Like maybe you're confused, maybe there are misconceptions, would like to refute them for you. But if the person is acting as an enemy within, being paid by others, or only accepted Islam because the Quran talked about that. A group of Bani Israel in Al-Madinah, they said, آمنوا بالذي أنزل على الذين آمنوا وجه النهار واكفروا آخره لعلهم يرجعون. They only accepted Islam not because they believed, rather to cause confusion. How? They said, we now became Muslims. And after a while we sat with Muhammad and we listened to him. A few days then we decided this man is a liar. Initially Allah disclosed their evil hidden intention. So things like that should not be taken lightly. There is a big difference between somebody who he doesn't even pray, or he does whatever he does in the hidden. Nobody knows about him. You are not allowed to chase him and find out about him or assassinate him. No, it is not permissible. Everything goes according to law and order in the Sharia versus today's so-called civilized world. How many innocent people have been killed by the drone attacks? You try to take somebody and you take along with him maybe tens, maybe hundreds, no accountability whatsoever. So when it comes to the Western media and talking about this person or that person, I do not take it for granted. I like to investigate and I like to find out and I like to present the Islamic point of view in this regard. Thank you, Brother Hussein from Bahrain. Muhammad from Egypt, shortening the prayer, the distance and the time. The vast majority of the scholars are of the view that the distance is what is equivalent to 83 kilometers. Okay? Of course, I did explain the difference of opinions before and their references and their proofs and why. And I mentioned before that Anas ibn Malik narrated that the Prophet ﷺ used to, once he would travel 3 miles outside Al-Madinah, would shorten the prayer, or 3 farasikh, which indicates, some people took it literally. They said any journey is a travel. And some scholars, the vast majority, interpreted this hadith as if the Prophet ﷺ was traveling a long journey, once he leaves Al-Madinah, 3 miles outside Al-Madinah, which is already out of the city limit, now he will shorten the prayer. So the vast majority, and when I say the vast majority of the Jews, that indicates there are other opinions. There are other respected views. But the opinion of the vast majority, 83 kilometers, that is the distance. And as far as the time frame, if you decide to stay more than 4 days, that doesn't include the arrival day and the departure day, then you will be treated as resident. And you should pray on full along with the sunan, and you're not allowed to combine unless if there is another need, such as heavy rain or fear, which even if you're resident, you're allowed to combine the prayer. Sometimes if it is raining and the Imam says, won't be able to come for Isha, let's pray Isha along with Maghrib, and don't come for Isha. That is permissible. Sister Saif, thank you for following Gardens of the Pious. This is my favorite program. I find myself in it and I enjoy it so much, and as I'm reading the hadith even before the program, I learn so much, and I hope I can convey every understanding that I get and all my feeling in this program. The hadith which I explained, that about the etiquette of eating whenever we're eating in a big plate, the Prophet ﷺ said to Umar ibn Abi Salama, سم الله وكل بيمينك وكل مما يليك. Eat from right in front of you. And he said the barakah is in the middle. What does it mean? It means everybody begin eating from in front of him until we finish it, even the center. But do not begin by the center and leave the rest. Okay, that is the meaning. It is permissible if you want everyone to eat from their own plates, that's fine. It's not forbidden. But we're talking about if there is a big plate where people are eating together from the plate, then make sure that everybody would eat from right in front of them. I think I answered Sister Amina's question from Kenya. Sister Zaina from Nigeria. The cultural traditions of commemorating the remembrance of a deceased, a father, a husband, whoever, on the third year, get together, make a recitation of Quran, or distribute sadaqah. On the 40s, or once every year. These are all innovations, will not benefit the dead and art, and the people who are involved in that are in violation. Here is our most beloved, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His daughters passed away in his life, many of them. His wives, some of them passed away in his life. And his sons, Abdullah and Ibrahim, passed away in his life. What happened? Al-Qasim and Ibrahim, what happened? He did not do any of these commemorations. And Prophet Muhammad himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, and his companions who loved him more than us, loving him and more than themselves, never did any of these. I call them cultural traditions not approved by the Sharia. A person who lost her husband, she's a widow, and you know the iddah, والذين يتوفون منكم يذرون أزواجا يتربصن بأنفسهن 4 أشهر و10. 4 months and 10 days, the waiting period. Woman, the widow, she's not allowed to wear any perfume or fragrance, along with other restrictions. She said if she doesn't have a domestic helper, can she clean up the house on her own using some detergents which may have fragrance? This is not perfume. This is not cologne. This is not a makeup. It is for cleaning up and taking care of the house, housekeeping. So it is okay. Sister Ruqayya, I did answer one of your questions. And the second question is repeating after the mu'adhin. Is there a special outfit, like you're coming from work and you happen to take off some of your clothes, even if the person is in their undergarment? Can I repeat after the mu'adhin? No problem. Do I have to have wudu? No, you don't. You can make dhikr in any condition, even if you are in a state of janaba, major impurity. You don't have to have a specific outfit, nor do you have to cover your hair or wear hijab. Similarly, for wudu, you don't have to wear a specific attire. As a matter of fact, if the person is in the nude and performing ghusl, and happen or taking a shower, happen to perform wudu in the bathtub in the nude, that is permissible. Sister Fatima, breaking your fast in the plane. Breaking your fast in the plane, if there are 5 minutes after you take off, do you have to wait until you reach the other place? No. Look, once it is time to break your fast, even if you're airborne, you should break your fast. If you take off and breaking your fast in the country that you departed from, couple hours later, while you are airborne, you saw in 45 minutes already the sunset, break your fast. Shortening the prayer. I did answer a similar question, and you get to shorten the prayer once you leave your city limit. But if you're home, you don't shorten the prayer, nor combine the prayer, except if you do have a necessity, as I mentioned earlier. If you're afraid that you will not be able to pray the following prayer, like on the road, or in fear or heavy rain. Last question, and I know that the director is warning me that over time, the ayat of Surah Fatir, from ayah number 27 through ayah number 30. Well, if you can confirm to me, anyway, we're running out of time. If you can just confirm via message you meant Surah Fatir or Surah Al-Fajr. Either way, if you meant the ayat of Surah Fatir talking about the creation of the mountains with different colors, then the following ayah says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. Those who truly fear Allah most are the scholars. Otherwise, inshallah, we will begin also next episode by tackling this part. Until then, I leave you in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. I love you all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the